Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and welcome to another Sunday Funday. And today we're going to be doing mini bendy cards. I don't have a regular bendy card with me, but just consider that you can make one much larger than this. This is a mini, so it literally will fold flat so that you can mail it. It's the size of a front of an A2 size card, and then when you open it, check it out. This is the bendy part, but you can add any kind of bendy part you want. You can add another bendy part going over the top. You can change this to an oval bendy. I mean, whatever you want to do, as long as you have a little bit on each end. And I should have, right here, these white ones, I should have tucked those behind. So that's another little tip I'm going to give you. This one is made, obviously, in Christmas, but you can make this for any occasion all year round. I'm not sure which one I want to make today, but I was thinking, Halloween. Valentine's is going to be coming up. I don't really make like New Year's stuff, so I got a couple of background stamps here that I haven't used in quite some time, and I thought these would be fun to use. And then I may pull out some dies. I don't know, we just kind of go with the flow here on Sunday and see what comes of it. So I got a couple of those out. These are my cheat sheet directions. So if you want to pause the video, take a screenshot, take a picture, and get those down, then you'll have them and you won't have to come back to the video as much to watch it over and over again. And I want to show you the size of this. This is a regular A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it opens up. So it could be top folding, side folding, what have you. And I've got 2 of them. And so instead of having 2 layers, we're only actually literally using half of that. So I can cut this directly in half and I'll have 2 cards here. So now I've got the 2 flat parts here. And I did not write on here the stuff to put on top because it all depends on what you're putting on there. You're just going to go about 1/4 of an inch smaller if you want there to be a white border, or you don't have to use white on the back. Obviously, you can make whatever you want. There's places on the back on both sides that you could decorate for writing your sentiment. If you've got little journal stamps, that would be really cute. You could even make a pocket on one side and then put a little, letter in there or a little card. That would be adorable as well. So I'm going to make one that looks, basically has the same size as this, and then we're going to go ahead and decorate it. So I will use some of these. I might have to use one other one because I believe this one is like 6 inches long. I'm going to grab one more. And we're going to cut out, first of all, I'm just going to use white and cut out the shapes of the 3 things that we need. So the base, obviously, is one of these. Okay, that's our base. We're going to be scoring this and folding it in half. Hi, Brenda. And then we need a strip. So we've got our base. Let's do the center first. So the center is 2 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to do my 4 1/4 by 2. And you can decide to make these bigger or smaller depending on what size card you're going to be making. But this is the part that goes right here. That's the size, 2 by 4 1/2. So we're going to put that here. I'm going to show you how to score all the pieces when we're done. And it's so simple. There's just one more piece, and it's 1 1/4 by 6 1/2. So I'm going to use that same piece that I just used. Go ahead and cut a piece 6 1/2 first of all. Okay, so that I know that this is 6 1/2, and then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to cut it at 1 1/4. So there we have our strip that's going to go across the front of the card, and we've got all 3 pieces done. And then we're going to do a little bit of scoring. So I'm going to pull out my little baby scoreboard here. And I'll use my bone folder. this one. And so this one is going to be folded in half. That's our base. So half is 2 3/4. So go 2 3/4. Give that a nice crease and bend it in half. Now I sometimes, when I add the paper on and then I cut it in half, the paper like bends and just doesn't sit right in the corner. So when I make mine, you can tell that they're super close together there, but I don't put it into the corner. I make 2 separate pieces. That's totally up to you, however you want to do it. I just find that it gets rid of that issue that I have, and I don't like to deal with that, so that's what you'll see me doing on this one. So instead of making one piece going all the way across here, I'm going to make 2 pieces, one for each side. Now we're going to take this center piece right here, and we have 3 different score marks that we have to make. And so on here it says 1/2 of an inch. So do a half there, and then 2 1/4. And then the last one at 4 inches, which is going to give you another 1/2 inch on, oops, did I do the wrong one? 4, 2 1/4, 1/2, 2 1/4, and 4. That doesn't seem right to me. Maybe I didn't cut this right. Hi, Ava. Nope, the first one I did. I think I cut this one wrong. Let me try this one again. 2 by 4 1/2. Oh, yep, I did it 1/4 of an inch too small. Let's try that one more time. 2 by 4 1/2. First, I'll make sure it's 2, and this is 2, and then I'm going to go 4 1/2. I did 4 1/4 on accident. That's why my last little score mark was just 1/4 of an inch instead of a half. So now if we do a 1/2 inch here, and we go 4 here, there we go. We've got a 1/2 inch on each side, and then one more score mark at 2 1/4. And that should put us in half. So if that goes half, yep, perfect. And then we have our 2 little tabs that are going to go towards the card to glue this in place. There we go. And that piece is finished. That's going to go right here. And the last one, the one on the bottom, and really all we need here is just 2 score marks to get those 2 pieces to stick to the card. And so it's going to be a 1/2 inch on each end. So a 1/2 inch on this end, and it goes to 5 1/2, or 6 1/2, so we're going to do the next score mark at 6. So 1 1/2 inch and 1 at 6. And then we should have 2 pieces that will adhere to our card. And remember, when we put this together, we're going to want to put this along the front and put those, that one already has too much stuff on it. You're going to put it across the front, and you're going to put those tabs behind the card instead of in front, so that you won't be able to see it like you can on mine. Mine, I accidentally put these facing forward on the top there, so you can see the whites. Not really that big of a deal. Most people wouldn't even mind. But if you want to get away from that, just pop them behind the card. So now I'm going to just pick, what do I want to put on there? And I want to use some of these background stamps I have. So I'm going to take some of this paper and do some stamping. I really think this is pretty, so let's do a couple of panels of this. If I do 2 panels of this, I'll be able to put it on this piece right here. Yep, if I go this way. Perfect. So I'm going to cut this in half and do 2 panels of that, and then we'll just cut it down to fit. Okay, got these 2. And a sheet so that I can put it on the top. You'll see what I mean in just a second. And I think, do I want to do black? I can do any color, really. I think I'll do black. Oh, you know what would look really pretty is maybe if I did red and black. Let's just do black first, and then we can experiment after that. So each panel might not be exactly the same. I'm okay with that. I'm going to put it down here in the corner. I'm going to put my piece of paper over the top. Just this way, hopefully it won't move and I won't get the ink all over my hand. It'll stay on the paper instead. Pretty. Look at that. Really pretty. We're going to do one more panel like that. A lot of people must be out shopping, going to church. Very few people watching today. Thank you guys for being here. So like I said, I'm going to put it in kind of the same space, but if it doesn't come out exactly the same as the other panel, no big deal. At this point, I've kind of taught you all of the measurements already, other than, making it a little bit smaller to put these on the top. So you can take off and make any kind that you want. So at this point, I'm just kind of doing some experimentation and seeing what I like and what I don't. So these did turn out pretty close. Very pretty. Now, we obviously don't need something that big for this card, so we're going to have to cut these panels down. I'm going to go ahead and just wipe this off first. Hi, Deb. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, let's see if I can get my little cutter out here. This one will probably be the best one to use at this point. Now when I'm looking at this one, I'm just going to go ahead and measure it. So the half of it is about 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So if we want it to be a little bit smaller, we could do 4 by 2 1/2. So if we do that, we're going to have a little bit of a border. So I'm going to do 4 by 2 1/2 on both of these. So this one's going to be 2 1/2. I'm going to start out by just cutting off 1/4 of an inch off each side. And then we want it to be 4 inches, so I'm just going to cut some right off of here. I still have a little bit more to go, 2 1/2 by 4. So just a little bit more off of each side. Two and a half. So now I'm at 2 1/2. I can cut that one off, and then we're going to measure to see. Yeah, I gave my good microphone to my husband, so I'm ordering a new one. There's nothing I can do about the bad sound right now until I get that new microphone here, and hopefully it'll be here by next week. This perfectly matches. So I think what I'm going to do is put this on here about the same as the other one. And just cut around it to make sure that I don't have to think about it so hard this time around. So I'm just using the first one as a guide and cutting it down to the same size. And hopefully kind of close to the same pattern. So there we go. That's pretty. That's going to totally work. Yay. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I was thinking about doing red paper underneath, but I can always fake it with a red marker later. So right now I think I'm just going to, or maybe even a black one. Right now I'm just going to go ahead and put it down. bit too much glue in that corner. I'm just wiping it off with my finger. Nope, a little bit too much there. There we go. Okay, give that a little bit of time to dry. I'm looking for my eraser. I really kind of dragged a little color in there, but that worked out pretty well. Can't hardly see it anymore. So there we've got the base done, and the next one we're going to do is here. So this one's going to go on, and then it'll pop up when we open it. So you're going to put glue on it and just glue it down like this. We have to decide what we want here. And I'm thinking probably red hearts would be amazing. I don't want to go with the same pattern on here because I don't want it to just be pattern and pattern. Because to me that kind of just is over redundancy, and then it just starts to look really busy. So I'm not going to do it on that one. And I'm going to get rid of these strips because I don't think I'm going to use them again. They're pretty tiny. So I want to do some hearts here. I've got a punch that'll do some hearts. It's my old standby. I really like this one, and I want red paper, so I'm going to take this other one, and I'm going to use a red marker, or I could use red ink. Red ink would work too. I didn't get my markers out, so let's go ahead and do candy apple. See if we can get candy apple to give us a few red hearts here. That will work. Could have used my brushes, I could have used whatever, but I chose to just do straight to paper. I'm just going to let it dry a little bit so I don't get ink everywhere. And hopefully, this is pretty thick paper. I should be able to cut. Yes. Okay. So pretty. Look at that deep red. I love it. So we're going to put these, just kind of a couple between the two spots here. That looks a little plain. I'm going to want something else on there, I think. So while I'm thinking about that, let's go ahead and put something on here. I've got some red ones from this Christmas that might, yeah, like something like that. Might look kind of pretty across the front. That is pretty. Okay, so let's measure this, what we want to do for the top of it. This one is about 5.5, so we could go 5 by 1 inch would work out pretty well. So I'm going to do 5 by 1 inch. I thought I could get a 6 by 6 in there. Oh, just. But I need 5 inches. So let me go ahead and cut this one, the big one, down to 5. So it's 5 across here, and then we want this to just be 1 inch. So I'm going to scoot it in there and cut it down. Oh, that is just a little too small for me. Let's try 5 1/4. Five and a quarter by 1 inch. Let's see if I can get an inch out of this one. This is that side that has a little hole at the top, so, uh-oh. There we go. My plastic popped out. I just had to put it back in. Okay, 1 inch. Oh, yeah, it's going to just cut off that hole. I didn't cut the other one long enough, so I had to use this one. Alright, that was the one that didn't work. 5 1/4 by 1 inch. There we go. 5 1/4 by 1 inch. Way better. Way better measurement. It is a little busy, I think. But I think it might be okay if we add a little red to the background. We'll try it out. First, let's go ahead and put this one down. That looks pretty good. And again, these are going to go on the outside instead of the inside this time. Last time I messed it up. And you know what? I think you need a little bit more than what they've given you in the instructions. Maybe that's why I went on the inside. Oh, you know what? I may have just a little bit of a lip here when I cut it. Let me cut that tiny lip off to make sure that we can get that around there. It's got to go all the way around it without, yeah. You know what I mean? It's got to go all the way around here with both of these flaps down so that the card stays flat. Right now, we've got a bit of a gap. That's not going to work. So I'm going to cut down the edges just a tiny, tiny bit. I'd rather not have to do that, but because now it looks awkward on that side. But if I do a little bit on the other side, which should work out fine. So that's why I switched and put it on the inside. So keep that in mind when you're making yours. It's got to be a little bit shorter so that that can get around the card. But now you can see that that is totally going to work. Oh, that's really pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and glue this one on. Okay, and I'm going to have to kind of hold this here to let that glue take hold. Okay, so when we open up the card, that's going to pop out. And it's going to lay flat. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. When we put it on, we're going to line up this line, and we're going to glue it on so it stays flat, so that when we open it, then it will open up. But first of all, I'm really not digging the hearts by themselves. I wonder if maybe just popping a sentiment on there with the hearts on the other side, that might work out a little better. Let me grab out my little sentiment box here. See if we can find something for Valentine's. Not quite. Well, that's cute with the heart. Nope, not yet. Sympathy birthday, thinking of you. With love. Oh, we could do with love. That would be cute. Or I love you. Hi, Brenda. Hello with love. Oh my gosh, that would be really cute. Hello, let's do that. Hello with love. That way you can give it to your girlfriend or your mom or whatever. It doesn't have to be necessarily a lover or, you know what I mean? Like your boyfriend, your husband, whatever. Fiance. And I'm going to go ahead and take my little snips and I'm going to snip this in half because I want these words to be underneath each other. I don't want it all one word. But I can always put them back together and make them one word, one whole long thing if I want later on. So hello. With love. And let's see how that looks. Oh, and it's going to fit on there, but I need to move this over just a tiny bit. And move that love up a bit. Oops, I lost one. Whoopsie-doo. There is a way to make these straighter if you can use the lines that you have on your stuff here. But I'm just gonna eyeball it. I hope that works. Hello with love. Okay, that's what we're going with. And I'm gonna do that in black. You know what I should have done? Should have put this in the stamp helper in case this doesn't stamp right the first time. But we're taking a risk. Ooh, turned out really good. Look at that. Hello with love. Cute. Did you get your chair loaded up, Wanda? And then we can put on the little hearts. That looks cute. I like that. They're chewing on antlers now. That's good. That's better than a pen, yeah? Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Cute, cute. I'm thinking that maybe I should have put red around those squares, but now I've already put that other piece on. So we're going to have to stick with it. But I think it's still really cute. Okay, and then we're going to put these down, so we're going to have to line that up. Thanks, Deb. I really just enjoy a simple card that looks really wow, but it doesn't take hardly any time at all to make. So there we go. I've got it lined up down the center. I've got some glue on the edges, and I'm just going to hold it and let that glue grip on. Everything looks relatively straight. And then when you open the card, you get all this dimension. That is so fun. That is so fun. I just love it. So here's a Valentine's one. And obviously you could load this up with all kinds of other fun stuff too. And then this is the one that I had created for Christmas. They're super fun to make, you guys. I hope that if you do get a chance to try this, that you post them in our Facebook group, Quality Crafts. We only have about 9 people watching today. Do you want me to do one more, or do you think one was enough? I'm going to put those little stamps back so I don't lose them. And I'll wait for your reply. Gotta find the right one. Here we go. One more? I can do one more. What do you put on the outside inside? Okay, so this one is like, there's no inside to this card. Let me grab an envelope so I can show you this. This is so cute. This is a card that when you stand it up, it's like you can look at it. It's just a display card, okay? If you want to make a pocket on the back and put a note in it, or you want to stamp on a journaling thing, or you just want to write on the back, this is the place for your sentiment on the back. But everything folds completely flat until you pull it out of the envelope and set it up. So when it's flat, it should fit in an A2 size card because it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 total size, which is an A2 size card. It's just there's no inside. It's just one side and it just fits right in there. Okay? So I will make one more. I've got the stuff to do it. They're so cute. I should do a couple more Christmas ones. I just don't make cards. I don't know. I'm so busy making paper art and cards and stuff, but I never send them. I never like make the cards and bring them for family, and I should. I really should do that. I don't know that I ever will. Alright, I have another card, because I think I already chopped up the other half of the other one, so we'll go ahead and chop this one in half. Now this is the regular card for those of you guys tuning in a little bit later. This is an A2 size card. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and there's an outside and an inside. But when you're making these, you can make both of these with this because you're just going to cut it in half and use each side. Okay? The only thing is you just need some scraps and things to decorate the front with, which isn't too hard to do. Alright, and thinking about how this fit across the outside, we had to trim off a little of each side so this would be able to reach the outside. So on your measurements, and I'm going to show these again if you want to take a picture or pause. On your measurements, you just might want to go 5 1/4 instead of 5 1/2. Okay, because then you won't have to trim it down afterwards. So maybe just do 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, and that way it'll already be done that way. So I'll walk through this again. The base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, A2 size front card. And then the little box on the inside here, this piece, is 2 by 4 1/4. And so I'm going to use the other side that was left over. I'm going to go 4 1/4 by 2. I should be able to do that on this one. 4 1/4 by 2. That should be 4 1/4. Yes. And so I just need a 2-inch piece off of there. Okay, so that's that piece. The next piece right here for the bow part is 1 1/4 by 6 1/2. So I pulled out another piece of paper, and I'm going to use the scrap from that's left over. And I'm going to cut that 6 1/2 by 1 1/4. So first I'm going to make sure I have 6.5 here. Oh, and I don't. I must have cut some more off of it. So I'm going to grab another piece of cardstock and do 6.25. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a strip that's 1.25, and then I'm going to cut it at 6.5. That way I'm not using as much of that paper. So 1.25. And then I'm going to cut it at 6.5. Okay. There are 3 pieces ready to roll, so I'm going to get out my little scoreboard here and I'll show you how to score them. So the back one, the card, which would usually be the card front, is this big piece. We're going to score that right in half at 2 3/4. 2 3/4. Score that right down the middle and give that a little burnish. That is going to be that big back piece. This little square piece goes score at, I have the center right here, 1/2 an inch. I got to make sure I have this right. See, I got it 4 1/4 again instead of 4 1/2. I don't know why I'm messing that up. This piece has to be 2 by 4 1/2, not 1/4. So let's do 4 1/2 by 2. Okay, we got 2 and 4 1/2. All right, let's check it. 4 1/2 by 2, perfect. Because you're going to want to score at 4, which gives you 1/2 inch at the end, and 1/2 inch at the beginning, so you've got the 2 tabs, those should both be 1/2 inch, and then right in the center at 2 1/4, and that's going to be your centerpiece. So the 2 on the edges, those are going to be your glue tabs, okay, and then this one in the middle, that's going to be the part that pops out. So that's what it should look like. Alright, so we've got 2 of those pieces done already. The last one is the bendy part that goes across the front. And all we need are 2 tabs to glue it. And those are 1/2 inch tabs. So you're going to go ahead and score it at 6 and 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch and 6 should give you a little tab of 1/2 inch on each side. This is where we are talking about if you don't cut this piece a little bit thinner this way, a little bit not quite as wide, you're going to have it where this won't, it's going to look like this and it won't bend flat. You want to make sure that when you put this on here, this is going to go flat when you glue it on. Because when you bend it, it's going to pop out. So I must have cut mine just so, because it's able to fit. So double check that piece, just so you don't have frustration later and feel like you have to cut the whole thing apart. Okay, so let's see, we've got Valentine's Day, we've got Christmas. Do you guys want to vote on another one? Actually, you know what I thought I was going to do? I got this really cool graphic 45 postcard in the mail. And I thought, how fun would that be if I could use some of this to like put on here? We could put the blossom across the top. We could put some flowers on the side. I think that would be really pretty. So I think what I'll do is just put this on here and trace it, and then I'll cut it down. I think that if I just put a little, press a little bit on here, this will show me my marks. That way I won't have to write on it. Perfect. I can see those, so that'll help me with my cutting. So I think I'm just going to go right ahead, first of all, cut around it, but I'm going to make it a little bit smaller than what I actually marked it at, in hopes that when I cut it in half, that it'll fit on that part that I made. So it might be kind of hard for you guys to see where I had those marks, but I can kind of see what I'm doing there. So if I look here, yep, this is going to fit on here pretty well. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut it in half and cut off a little bit of the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that blue off, because I think that'll make kind of a just a natural stopping point. And then if I measure this again, I should be able to find the half point, cut it in half, and then make it as close together as I can. The blossom on putting it on the bottom part, well, I think we'll lose a lot of that, so I'm not going to put it on that part. So let's put it on here and see what we have. We have about 3 1/4. So if we do 1 1/2 plus an extra 1/8, we could find the half there. 1 1/2 plus an extra 1/8, like right there. Okay. But the easy peasy way is just fold it in half. Then you know right where the middle is. And I'd like to get that just cut so we can still read it. That should work. Okay, so if I put one on each side, close up to that center, that looks pretty close. Close enough. I'm going to cut off just a tad off of this side because it seems to have been a little bit bigger. So I want it close to that bend. Like I said before, if you put it right over the top of that bend, it just seems to always have a little like bump there, and it just never works out, and I find it really frustrating. So I'm just going to go on either side of the bump, really as close as I possibly can so it looks like it's together, you know what I mean? There we go. So now when you look at it, it's really close, right? So when it bends, it's still going to look pretty cool. So that's neat. I'm going to probably put my sentiment across this one so that I can put some of these flowers here. I had to cut quite a bit of that off, so we're missing the length, but that's okay. So I can't get both of them on there. I could, but it's going to look kind of funny, I think. Maybe I just want to do one side and I can do a fun little stamp on this side or something. That'd be cute. So if I do it the right way so that I have about the same amount on each side of the white, I'm going to cut it right there. So you might not be able to see that, but I can see it in the shininess. Oops, I need my cutter. So I'm going to cut it about right there. Did I keep the vertical sentiment stamps? I can't remember. So that's pretty on that side. This one's just not going to make it, is it? It's just not. Nope. We're going to just waste that one because, you know, it was free. It was a free postcard. I'm going to go ahead and put this side down because I've already decided I like that one. Did I save the vertical stamp sets? I can't remember. It might take this one, and this is going to kind of cover up the flowers too, but not too much. See if I put it right there? Not too bad. I'm going to put it back up. Yeah, it's going to have to line up on the middle, so we're going to have to put it there. I think that's okay. Maybe on this side we can do, yeah, I think I sold them too. I could do this on this side, or we could just leave it. You know what would be pretty is, I think if we embossed that side instead of stamping it. Let's get a flower embosser of some sort. So we'll just do an emboss project here. I have not used this one yet. This one is called Engraved. I think it's fancy. Let's try this one. So let's go ahead and try. Do we want to just do a piece that we could put over the top? That's what I'm thinking. It'll be a little thicker, but that way we'll get a little bit more of the design too. Okay, let's see if I can figure out the sandwich to get this done then. Because this is an extra thick one, and I haven't done one in a while. It might just be one. Nope, not quite enough. Not two, though. Maybe this one. Oh. It just seemed like that might work. That might have worked. Let's check it out. Oh, yeah. Ooh, look at that. Look at how 3D that is. Wow, that's incredible. It looks like a napkin. Fancy old napkin. Love it. Okay, let's move this guy out of the way. You guys, I'm definitely getting a new microphone. Hopefully by Monday. So I can't imagine what it's like for you guys to listen to it, and it sounds awful, I'm sure. Okay. Let's just measure this again so that I don't have to guesstimate. We're going to want to cut this down at about 4 by 2.5. 4 by 2.5. Oops, I'm just going to leave those down there because I don't need them now. Say 4. Is this 4? Oh, we got a little extra. Okay. Cut that off. Super close. But then the other one has to be 2.5, yeah? Okay. I better double check it, man. I'll be mad if it doesn't fit. 2.5. Okay, let's go 2.5. Okay. Oh, that's really pretty. And you know what? Sometimes just leaving things white, black and white, or just white can be more stunning than trying to deal with it and put color on it and all that stuff. I'm not going to add color because I don't want to mess up the look of this one. I'm really, really liking the way this one is looking at the moment. And so hopefully this will cover most of it, right? All right. It's very bumpy, so I got to make sure that all the stuff all the glue that I got on there gets a chance to really attach to that paper. How pretty is that? Wow. And we're going to cover some of that up, but that's okay. Look at that blossom. Blossom. We got to get that one too. All right, let's see how this is going to work, because we got to get this to adhere to that bumpy part. It should work. Okay, we're going to line up that center part. It's a little bit harder with the bumpy part, but we'll get it. Oh, really? You know, I never had a problem with the 920 before. And now all of a sudden it's not working worth a darn, but I am going to get another microphone because who's going to want to listen to that, right? Oh my gosh, that's really pretty. We haven't even gotten this part on yet. That's going to cover up a little bit more even, isn't it? I wish I had some more of these flowers to put down on the bottom. I wonder if I should grab one of the stamps that we have. Hold on, I think I have some right here. If this work, that'll work, won't it? Let's put some of these guys on there. We already have kind of a sentiment on there because it says blossom. I'm not going to make it crazy. Run that part through the embossing instead. Wanda, instead of putting the flowers on there. I could. I'm going to cut a little bit off because that doesn't seem to be fitting very perfect. I could. I think it'll be a little overpowering if it's all that embossed. I have an idea. Here's a happy medium for you. Hopefully you'll like my idea. Okay. I'm going to take this one. Put that flower on there because that's going to kind of match the other one, sort of. What else do I have on there? Ah. Okay, take that one off. And then I'm going to put the little bud on there. Some of you guys might see where I'm going with this. Like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and emboss the other half. Where did I put that bad boy? Ah, there it is. And I'm going to do this half of it. It goes to the end. Sweet. Okay. I'm going to go right there. Wrong one. I was so sure that was the one I used. Maybe it was this one. Ah, there we go. Ooh, that one really stuck. that time. Most of the time I can't get that thing to stick, but of course when you're not needing it to. Alright, so do you see? I kind of wanted it half and half, but we got a little carried away here. It's almost there. It's almost half and half. But I think we should take some of that dark burgundy, which I have. And oh, that's Chuck's phone. So I'm just adding some color to this. I'm not going to go crazy and color the whole thing. Somebody must really want to get a hold of him. You are popular today. Popular man.
That's like Tim. Okay.
I don't know who it is.
Hello. Yo.
I'm going to darken up a few of these so that they actually look like that burgundy color, and then I'll make it match that much more. Okay.
Okay, so you might have been exposed, you might not have been.
Okay. Alright. I need to rinse that off just so that I don't have a red
Oh, I'm sure.
pen next time. Alright. And then we're going to add this on.
Sounds good. Yeah, man. Hope you don't get sick. Yeah, bye.
Ugh! I put it on the wrong side. Oh, darn it. Okay, I gotta wipe that ink off. I gotta wipe that glue off. You won't see it, it'll be on the back side, but I put it on the wrong side of the paper. Let's start again. Let's put it on this side. Some of you guys probably already caught that. Like, Jen, don't do it! Don't do it! Okay, let's see if we can get this to fit correctly and get that to glue on. See, Wanda caught me. She's like, no, you're doing the wrong side. Okay. Awesome. It did work. We're good to go. Here we've got some flowers to match the other ones, and then either side. That way we're not overwhelmed with the embossing part. But that turned out pretty, huh? I like it. I think it's cool. It's pretty neat. And all I did was recycle a little postcard that G45 sent me. Cool beans. So, we've got that one. We've got our little stamped one for Valentine's Day or whatever, and a little Christmas one. Cute. Cute stuff. I hope that you guys enjoyed that today. We are, now that we're having Tuesdays and Thursdays Zooms starting at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're no longer going to do the Sunday Zooms at we were doing them right after this. So there will be no Sunday Zoom today, but check in with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. I would love to see you. If you do, thanks Wanda, if you do this project, I would love to see you guys post all of your makes in our group. We need a lot more of that. We need more of people just sharing what they're doing in there. It would be awesome. So if you haven't already joined us, the link is in the description box below, Quality Crafts at Facebook. And if you want to know other things about Quality Crafts, you can go to qualitycrafts.com. That is our website. Anyways, if you have other questions other than that, you can contact Wanda Bailey, Penny Ratcliffe, or myself on PM us on Facebook for the probably the quickest response. If you leave a response by email or whatever, it might take us a couple of days to get back to you. And until then, enjoy the rest of your week, and I cannot wait to see you guys next video.